Video of a U.S. submarine striking an Iranian warship off Sri Lanka's coast has been shared in social media. The 180-crew frigate Iris Dina was hit in the Indian Ocean on Wednesday. The video shows the warship on fire, followed by an underwater explosion that tore the vessel's keel at the stern. Some 78 of the crew members were wounded after the incident. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed that a U.S. submarine struck the vessel using a torpedo. Speaking to reporters, Hegseth said the submarine used a -48 Malawian Kwacha's heavyweight torpedo, adding that the incident marked the first time since World War II. Earlier it was reported that the vessel was the 1,500-ton Mujh-class frigate Iris Dina, which had recently been conducting exercises in the Bay of Bengal. Sri Lankan Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath said 32 critically wounded sailors aboard the Iris Dina frigate were rescued. The frigate, carrying 180 crew members, sent the alert at dawn. Officials stated that the top priority is saving survivors, while the cause of the incident will be investigated afterward. The fate of the rest of the crew members is unknown. Speaking alongside Hegseth, chairman of the Joint Chiefs General Dan Kane stated that since Saturday, when the U.S.-Israel Operation Epic Fury commenced, the U.S. has sunk Dina, more than 20 Iranian ships, and an Iranian submarine. We've destroyed more than 20 Iranian naval vessels, in addition to the frigate outside the area, one submarine, and effectively neutralized at this point in time Iran's major naval presence in theater out there, the official stressed. Furthermore, Kane said that, over the next 24 to 48 hours, the U.S. will continue to strike infrastructure and naval capability will continue to assess our progress against the military objectives. The episode involving the Iranian warship comes amid a joint U.S.-Israeli operation launched on the country on February 28. The Russian liquefied natural gas tanker Arctic Metagaz caught fire in the Mediterranean Sea. The incident occurred on the night of March 3, while the vessel was sailing between Libya and Malta. One of the first to report the fire was naval OSINT analyst H.I. Sutton. The giant Russian liquefied natural gas tanker Arctic Metagaz has caught fire in the Mediterranean Sea. According to some reports, it was struck by an unmanned boat. Whether this is related to Iran or Ukraine, the consequences for Russia's military actions will be very serious. I assume the ship is completely destroyed, the expert wrote. Information about the emergency was confirmed by the specialized resource G captain. A video has already surfaced on social media, purportedly showing a burning Russian gas tanker. There is no official confirmation of these claims yet. A representative of the Greek company Dioplis Group, which specializes in maritime safety and risk management, confirmed the fire to journalists. We can confirm that this happened, but we don't have any further details, he told reporters. According to vessel tracking data, on February 18, the Arctic Metagaz took on a cargo of LNG from the floating storage unit SOM, then rounded the UK and Spain and entered the Mediterranean Sea. On the evening of March 2, the vessel ceased transmitting as it exited Malta's exclusive economic zone.
A 180-crew Iranian frigate came under attack off the coast of Sri Lanka on Wednesday. Dozens of sailors were injured as the warship was struck and sunk near Sri Lanka. It has not been revealed whose submarine was used in the attack. According to military sources, 78 crew members are wounded after the incident. Sri Lankan Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath said 32 critically wounded sailors aboard the Iris Dena frigate were rescued. China's Xuanhua publication, citing an unnamed Sri Lankan Navy source, claimed that about 100 people on board were killed. However, this report has yet to be confirmed. Herath informed Parliament that the wounded sailors had been transported to a hospital in the southern part of the island. Security was tightened outside the hospital in Galle as injured Iranian sailors were transported there by the Sri Lankan Navy. An official told AFP that search efforts were still ongoing, but authorities did not yet know what had happened to the remaining crew members, casting doubt on the chances of locating additional survivors. Herath added that 2 Sri Lankan naval ships and an aircraft had been sent to carry out the rescue mission, though he did not specify the cause of the Iranian warships sinking. The incident came days after the U.S. and Israel launched joint strikes on Iran on Saturday. Iranian airspace and cities, including areas near Tehran, have been hit in the operation named Epic Fury, with Iranian reports of significant casualties and widespread attacks on infrastructure. Tehran and other provinces have seen bombardments, and Iran has declared a period of official mourning following the death of top leaders. In retaliation, Iranian forces have launched missiles and drones at Israel and U.S. military assets across the Gulf region. These strikes have impacted several neighboring countries, including attacks on bases and civilian areas in the United Arab Emirates and elsewhere, with casualties and damage reported. The ultra-rich have begun paying up to $350,000 to flee the Middle East on private jets, according to the Daily Mail. Wealthy elites are reportedly heading to Saudi Arabia to escape the Persian Gulf after Iranian missiles and drones struck Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Qatar, and Bahrain over the weekend. According to the publication, Riyadh is becoming a key route for elites seeking safe passage out of the Middle East. This is because the airport in the Saudi Arabian capital is one of the few still operational. Sources told reporters that such a journey is expensive. They said private security companies charter a fleet of SUVs to transport people on the 10-hour trip from Dubai to Riyadh and then charter private jets. According to Semaphore, those evacuated include executives of global financial companies and wealthy individuals who were vacationing in the Middle East or were there on business. A surge in demand for emergency travel out of the region has meant that a private jet flight from Riyadh to Europe can now cost up to $350,000. The publication noted that Saudi Arabia is currently the safest country for departure from the Middle East after routes from Oman were closed following Iran's attack on a port and oil tanker in that country. Saudi Arabia has also relaxed visa regulations, meaning citizens of many countries can obtain a visa upon arrival rather than in advance, making it an attractive evacuation route for many. CNN previously reported that Dubai, usually bustling with activity during peak season, has become almost unrecognizable due to the aftermath of the Iranian attacks. The city's highways are deserted and air travel is non-existent. Journalists reported that instead of the usual queues at shopping malls and raucous parties on yachts in Dubai Marina, the city has been plunged into an unusual silence. Schools have urgently switched to distance learning, and families are trying to stay home. In addition, due to the surge in demand for groceries, supermarkets are experiencing queues, and delivery services are experiencing significant delays. The report noted that after the closure of UAE airspace, some people fled to calmer regions of the country. In Hatta, near the Omani border, a hotel converted a conference room into a temporary shelter for tourists who had checked out but were unable to fly home. Newly arrived guests admitted that they had moved with their families from areas of Dubai that had been hit by the attacks. Some people attempted to travel to neighboring Oman by land. However, the security situation in the region remains volatile.
City authorities have already reported a 2-drone attack on the local port, according to media reports. The author shared that the metropolis, which has always emphasized its safety and stability, lacks public shelters. As a result, many residents spent the night in underground parking garages. Parents tried to protect their children from fear, convincing them that the loud sounds over the city were fireworks or the traditional cannons used in Muslim countries to announce the start of iftar during Ramadan.